Hello friends, welcome to Super IT. Today my video will be about what is a HTML editor, what is a text editor, and the difference between an HTML editor and a text editor. As well as I'll be covering the types of different of editors and how to use them in particular, as well as how to save a particular HTML document on your PC, as well as HTML, the basic examples and the elements. So moving forward, what is a HTML editor? Now this is basically the theory part of HTML. So HTML editor is a specialized piece of software that assists in the creation of HTML code. This basically explains that the HTML editor is a particular software that helps for the user to create an HTML code in the PC. So professional web developers use an HTML editor to create and maintain their websites. So basically, professional web developers use HTML editors to create their own web pages, and if there is any maintenance, to edit anything in the websites as well. So this is because a good HTML editor can boost productivity. Further on, what is a text editor? You may have already heard about a text editor. So, it is any word processing program that you can use to type and edit text. For instance, WordPad and Notepad for Windows and Simple Text and TextEdit for the Mac are the most common text editors used today. So, larger programs such as Microsoft Word and WordPerfect are also text editors, but they have many more features. So they are not just categorized as text editor. You can actually write HTML code and create HTML pages with a simple text editor, as long as you know the correct HTML syntax. So when comparing the two, the HTML editor versus the text editor, there is one main difference, which is that an HTML editor and a simple text editor is that the HTML editor has a more functionality, assisting in creating the web pages more quickly and easily. While as it is true to code in HTML using a basic text editor, a HTML editor will make your life much more easy. For instance, an HTML editor will detect exactly when you write an opening HTML tag. So therefore it will make your work easier and it will automatically insert the closing tag for you. This makes your work very fast, and that's why web developers usually use the HTML editor. So that is one of the advantages of them. So now moving on, the types of text editors. There are several types of text editors. I will only introduce a few. So the ones given in Windows is the Notepad, and you can additionally install Notepad++ as well, which is one of my favorite text editors. And in Macs you get the TextEdit, which is the icon here, as you can see. So let me speak about these text editors and how to use them. So how to use the text edit. For Mac, I will introduce you the text edit. So in step 1, you have to go to the search bar and you have to click on this search bar icon here and type in text. If you start typing in text itself, this icon will pop up, text edit, and you have to click on this icon. The following step, you will be redirected to this page, as you can see, and you have to click on to where you want to save it. So here the desktop is chosen, and next you have to click on the new document which is there on the bottom of this page, as well as then the blank text edit document will be formed here. So it will be ready to use it. Next, you have to move to format and you have to make a plain text. So you have to click on that particular make plain text, and then it will change to this to untitled, and you can enter in the HTML code. You may enter these following codes and then you have to save it. So if you are done, click on save, file, and then save, and then moving on, you have to type in the save as. So you have to give it a name. So for instance, you can give it as index.html. You may give any name, but remember to use .html. Moving further to step number 8, you can select any tag from the option. So I will use the red tag. So as you can see in the following, here the red tag is used, and where we have saved it is the desktop, and then we have to click on save. Then there will be a message box here. As you can see, it says you have used the extension .html at the end of the name. The standard extension is text. So since we are coding an HTML page, we have to use HTML. So you have to click on it. There, this icon is created on where you have saved the desktop. So here it's with the red tag and it says index because we have saved it as index.html. So now you may double click on this to see the output. So it will open on the web browser. It will open on the web browser. You may use any web browser you like. I prefer Google Chrome. So moving. Okay. That will be the end of the Mac for using TextEdit. Now I will move on forward to using Notepad for any Windows PC. So you may have already used this Notepad before, or if you are new, I will teach you how to use it. So this I will be showing to you practical. But before that, let me go over these steps one by one and show it to you as we go along. These steps I will show it to you practical. So you have to type in Notepad in the search bar that is placed in the taskbar. So now I have opened my search bar here in the taskbar on my desktop, and I will type in Notepad, and as you can see, you have to click on it. Then this screen will open and it is completely blank. Now you can type in an HTML text. So let me start HTML. You may not know any coding until now. So if you are new, you can just copy what I am doing. So as you can see, I have finished typing this HTML document. So now I will show you how to save this particular HTML document. So go to File and then go down to Save As. And now I'm going to choose where I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save it on my desktop. And I'm going to save it as, you can give it any name you like. So let me say index.html, and remember to put .html. That is very necessary, otherwise it will not convert into an HTML output. So save as type as all files, or else it will stay as a text document, and that's not what we want. So now click on save. So it's all saved, and as you can see here, it's index, and the icon has popped up on the desktop where we have saved it. And to get the output of what we have coded here, you have to double click on this icon and it will open in the web browser. It has opened in the Google Chrome web browser, and as you can see here, okay, it says my first heading and my first paragraph. This is whatever we have coded in the body. I have explained this in my previous video. So this is what the output is, and it says index.html as we have saved the document. So as you can see, this is step 4. We have covered all the steps available. And the next step, so where we are going to save the particular document, and then the file name, and to save it as all files, and that's the icon where we have saved it, and the output. And now we will move forward to some of the HTML examples. So maybe you have come across some of the HTML basic examples as well, but I'm going to introduce few. So firstly, there's a thing called HTML heading. HTML headings are defined with a particular tag. So as you can see here, from H1 tag to H6 tags, you can introduce heading. So when speaking about heading, you can see here H1, and in the middle you get the big heading, and then a closing H1 tag, and the same goes with H2 and H3, H4, and like that it goes on to H6. So when explaining these, it says that the HTML headings are defined with the H1 to H6 tag. So basically, the biggest heading is the H1 tag, which introduces the most important heading, and the H6 tag introduces the least important heading. I will explain this to you practically, so you will have a better understanding. Okay, so I have opened a notepad and I have typed in these codes. As you can see, it starts with HTML head, and then there's a closing head tag, and in the body itself, I have given headings. This will be the most important one, the big heading, the medium heading, and the small heading. So if you want to run this in the web browser, I have already saved it as header, and I will save it in the desktop. So it will be header.html, and I will save as type as all files and save it. Then the icon has popped up, so I will double click on the icon, and as you can see, it's what we have coded. As you can see, look, the big heading, it has become a massive font, and the medium heading and the small heading. So it shows basically the importance. So moving forward, I will move on to the next example, which is the HTML paragraphs. So HTML paragraphs are defined with the p tag. And this is an example. So there's an open tag, and then whatever has to be the coding, this is a paragraph, and closing the p tag. And this is another one. This is another paragraph, and closing. You can add as many paragraphs as you like in the HTML document, and I'll show it to you practically, but I'll be showing a different example. So now here I have typed in this HTML code, and there is one paragraph given, and if you want I can add many more. So let me just copy this. Okay. And you can say my second paragraph, my second paragraph, my third paragraph, and so on. So you can save this. Simply you save every document the same way. So I'm going to save it on the desktop, and I'm going to say, call it paragraph.html, and it is all files, and then save. So the icon popped up again. So you're going to double click on it, and it will open in the web browser. As you can see, the heading is given, and there you get your paragraphs. My first paragraph, my second paragraph, my third paragraph, and so on. Now let me move on to the next example. So this next part will be HTML links. HTML links are defined with the A tag. So basically this is an example. It says a ref equals, and then double quotation, and you have to give in the particular link. So here you can see the YouTube link, and then whatever, this is a link, you have to mention to what you have introduced here, and then give a closing A tag. So simply the link's destination is specified in the ref attribute. The ref attribute basically means that the attributes are used to provide additional information about HTML elements. So now let me show you how this works on Notepad. So here I have typed in an HTML code mentioning the A tag, the ref attribute, and then here is the particular link, and this is a YouTube link. So you know what this link is. So this will be actually the output shown in the web browser, and this will be the closing A tag. So I have saved this as index. So now let me click on this index icon, and as you can see there's a link. This is a YouTube link. So when you click here, so when you just move the cursor itself, you can see that the icon of the cursor has changed, showing that it's a link. So when you click on it, it changes color as well on the click, and it just immediately goes to the YouTube link. So now that's the HTML link part. So when moving to HTML images, basically images are defined with the image tag. So there's the source file and the alternative text, the width, the height are mainly provided as attributes. There you can see in an example. So I will show you how to do this practically. So here I open the notepad and then I open this as I saved it as mario.html. So here you can see the image source and the alt, which is as I introduced you previously, it is the alternative text and the source file. So you have to mention the file path, otherwise it will not load, and you have to mention the width you want and the height of the image. And these are the ones from the previous, the header and the paragraph. So I have saved this as Mario. So when you click here on, this is the icon that popped up. So here you can see this is the image of Mario. So that's how you add images into a HTML file. So moving on, we will move on to HTML buttons. So HTML buttons are defined by the button tag. This is actually very easy because the button is for the button tag. So there's an example, it says button open tag and then it says click me and there should be a button closing tag. Make sure that there's a closing tag, otherwise the button will not work. So this, I will show it to you again, how to get the button. So I will start with typing button, the opening tag, and then it says click me. Whatever you want to put in the button, you have to put it between the opening tag and the closing tag. So you can even put submit, login, whatever button you want. So I'm going to put click me and then put the closing tag button. And we're going to save this again as save as. And we're going to save it in the desktop. We're going to save it as button.html and save it as all files. Save it and let's see. So here you can see this is a button. So moving on, we will look at HTML lists. So basically HTML lists are defined with the UL, which is the unordered bullet list, or the OL, which is the ordered numbered list tag, followed by the LI tag, which is the list item. So basically, as you can see in this example, you first start with the unordered list. So this is a bullet list and it says LI is for the list items. So there's a dog, cat, mouse. This is unordered and then we get the ordered list. So here I will show it to you practically so you can easily understand the difference between the unordered list and an ordered list. Okay, so as you can see here, I have entered the unordered list and the ordered list and I saved this HTML document as list. So in my desktop, so I will move on to this list icon and click on it. So it will open in the browser and show me the output. As you can see, here you get the unordered list. This means that the bullet points are not according to any sequence. It's just the dot and this is the ordered list which shows 1, 2, 3. So that's the example for the list. So moving on to the new topic, which is the HTML element. So basically an element is usually whatever consists between the start tag and the end tag. And So as you can see here, there's an opening tag name and a closing tag name, and the element is this. Content goes here. The content is the element. So the HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag. So as you can see here, the paragraph tag, which I've introduced earlier, it says the my first paragraph and the closing paragraph tag. So the element is my first paragraph. And here are a few examples. Few examples are here. So you get the header tag, and it's the closing tag, and this is the element content. And as you can see, you might be wondering what this tag is. This is the BR tag, which is simply explains the line break. So basically, these elements with no content are called empty elements. Why? Because there is no element content. So empty elements do not have an end tag. So this is just a start tag. They don't have any end tag. So moving on, we will talk about the nested HTML elements. HTML elements can be nested. Elements can contain elements. So basically, all HTML documents consists of nested HTML elements. This example contains 4 HTML elements. I will explain them to you now. So as you can see here, the HTML tag, which is the element that defines the whole document, that's the opening and the closing tag. It has a start tag and an end tag. And inside the HTML element, there's the body tag. And in the body element, it defines the document body. The body tag itself has a start and an end tag. And inside the body element, there are another 2 other HTML elements. As you can see, there is the H1 tag and the P tag. So in the H1 element, it defines a heading. It has a start tag and an end tag. And the element content is my first heading. Then the P tag is the element that defines a paragraph. So it has a start P tag and an end P tag. And the element content is my first paragraph. So, moreover, as I was speaking before about the BR tag, it simply gives you a break. So I will explain the BR tag more practically. So as I have shown, I have added 4 break line tags. So we will show you this in the web browser, and I saved it as list again. So I will show it. So as you can see, this is the previous list. And can you see any difference? Yes. That's the line break. Since I've given 4, there are 4 lines that are spaced. So simply HTML5 does not require empty elements to be closed. But if you actually want a stricter validation, or if you need to make your document readable by XML parsers, you must remember that you must close all HTML elements properly. Lastly, when moving on to speaking about HTML is not case sensitive. So when speaking about HTML being not case sensitive means that, for instance, the same as you can see here, the P tag is the same as the capital P tag or the simple P tag. So the HTML5 standard does not require lowercase tags, but I personally recommend to always use lowercase in HTML as the demands are more higher. So that would be the end of this video. So in my next video, I will be covering about the HTML attributes, as well as I'll be covering a few things about HTML headings too. And thanks a lot, and please subscribe for new updates and click the bell icon for new videos.